good, one's bad, yeah, they're really always like this. We don't know who's who, but at least we know who Mike is. They love to complain, they got sports on the brain, and they frequently drive each other insane. It's the good and the bad and the Mike. The good and the bad and the Mike. The good and the bad and the Mike. It's the good and the bad and the Mike.
Hello, welcome to this week's episode of The Good, the Bad, and the Mike. As always, I'm Oshin. That's Cian.
Hello.
And that's Mike.
Hello.
Alright, that was slightly better, but we'll soldier through. For those listening, this is our second time starting because we had a huge delay. And I didn't introduce Mike because we were starting again, and then he got offended because he didn't realise we were going to start again because I hadn't said it. I thought it. I decided in my head, but I didn't say it out loud for 6 seconds, and then Mike got offended. But anyway. I
Not too hard to bring this up now, but okay.
All the explanation needed there. So before we kick things off, just a bit of housekeeping. I was going to say housewarming, but that's not right. Bit of housekeeping as we come into the Christmas period. So we'll have another episode next Monday, and then we're going to take a week off. We'll be back in the
Yes. Oh yeah, Mike. I don't think I ever told you that. Yeah, that.
Yeah, no.
Yeah,
Keith and I
that'd be good.
discussed this yesterday. I forgot that you were there until I had started talking about it.
This is breaking news for me too.
So,
This is good to know.
yeah,
I mean,
was,
you can have to add. Welcome to the Mike.
If
Mike's
you
Underground
want to,
podcast.
I was
No,
halfway
Mike's
through
allowed.
saying it, and they went, "Oh yeah, Mike wasn't there when we discussed this yesterday."
No. Like you not once brought it up at all, even though we've been on the last
Yeah,
production, and not one of you's brought it up till right now. I
yeah.
didn't think we were going to talk about it till next week.
Well, it makes sense to give them some warning.
They can
Yeah.
plan around.
Yeah, exactly. They got to figure out what else to listen to during that week off.
Good point.
The Mike and nothing but the Mike. Coming soon.
All right, let's jump into the news. Mike, what have you got for us this week?
Alright, so there has been an apology from RB Salzburg to Sevilla for an inappropriate chant that was taking place in the dressing room.
In the dressing
Apparently,
room?
in the dressing room after the game where Salzburg went through, they were apparently chanting Spanish wankers
Quite scared.
in the dressing room. They have issued an apology, and yeah,
Probably for the best.
we'll put them on.
Yeah.
They go on the list of scumbags for the year.
Big
Solid.
fan of that list.
Mike is right up there at the top.
Necessary, but okay.
Cian, what have you got?
Yeah, we've just in the 2028 Olympics, boxing, weightlifting, and modern pentathlon. So far, I've not made the cut for the 2028 Olympics, so that'll be a big loss to Ireland
Oof, that's a
because
big
we
loss.
kind of can't do anything that isn't boxing. So now, I believe they can still be added, but in the initial list of games,
They just haven't.
They're not there.
They haven't made the initial
Yeah.
cut.
yeah. So
Now, if boxing was on a field, it'd be in the Olympics. Just putting that out. Doubling down on this.
your fields, let the field. Oh, Mike.
Some people. All right, Mike. What other news have you got?
So, update on the disciplinary action of what actually happened with Pierre Aubameyang.
Yeah.
So, as many people found out on the weekend, he was dropped from the Arsenal squad for disciplinary reasons. Apparently, he had
Dysentery
permission.
reasons.
Yeah, disciplinary reasons.
That's what I thought
Apparently,
you said.
Poor fellow with his dysentery.
yes. Apparently, he had an agreed trip and permission to fly to France on Tuesday. his family and return on Wednesday night in order to train. Aubameyang on Thursday morning, but that led to him then having to do some miscommunication, the whole COVID protocol, and having a PCR before he could train. So he didn't train on the Thursday. Later that evening, he went and got a tattoo in London, even though that tattoo was booked months in advance and the club already knew about it. But they still are punishing him for it. So that's the whole Aubameyang situation.
He got a tattoo.
Right. That's
He
not very
missed training
exciting.
on the... Yeah, he just missed training
Ah.
on the Thursday.
I actually
Fair.
didn't even realise that he was dropped for disciplinary reasons. Or dysentery reasons.
Sorry, if we went with kids' fake news, it's more exciting. I'm sorry.
actually
I mean, that's what I
would
thought you
be.
said. That's what I heard you say. Because you had a weird pause there and you went disciplinary. You know, where's he going
He
with this?
just immediately went, oh, dysentery, of course.
Yes.
Yeah.
What else would it be?
Alright, Keith, what other news have you got for us?
Yeah. So, 56 current and former women's rugby players, Irish women's rugby players, sent it, and I believe it was an open letter sent to the Minister of Sport, Catherine Martin, and the Minister of State with responsibility for sport, Jack Chambers, saying they have very little to no confidence in the IRFU, just overall running of the women's sport in Ireland. The IRFU refutes the overall tenor of the document and said it is disappointed with the women for calling them out. Which, you know,
Keane is struggling with
Yeah.
the B words here.
they're overall disappointed with the dysentery in the letter. So yeah, not all good in the women's IRFU. They're we'll see. I don't know what it is they're complaining about. What I was reading was just kind of overall they're just very not getting on, and they want a lot of changes. So we'll see if anything's done about that.
Speaking of women's
Oh.
sport, did you see Sam Kerr for Chelsea's women's team absolutely flooring a pitch invader? Was it last week?
Yeah, I think it was last week.
Absolutely incredible.
Yeah.
She
Yeah.
got
Didn't she
a,
injure herself doing it or something?
I didn't
No,
see
she
that.
got a
I thought she got
card
a
for it, that's what it was.
she got a yellow card for it. But the Metropolitan Police have announced that they aren't able to arrest the pitch invader because there's technically a loophole in the law when it was written that essentially it only applies to designated games, and for whatever reason women's football games aren't designated games. So they can't actually. He technically didn't break the law. He's been banned by the club, but he technically didn't
That's
break
fair.
the law. I believe the reason women's games aren't included as designated games is to do with the fact that they generally have smaller crowds and there's a difference in policing. But I'm not 100% sure about that. But I can only assume that after this,
That's going to change.
that's 100% going to change.
You would think so.
But yeah, that video of Sam Kerr just flooring your man is
She gave him a good slap.
absolutely
Anyway.
incredible.
I understand why she got a yellow card for it though. That was a bit over the top.
Illegal block in the back, blindside.
It's a whole other
Big old blood
sport.
set.
Yeah, it's a weird one because she didn't actually foul any of the players, so I don't know.
No.
I don't know what rules
Because I mean,
she
like,
broke.
yeah, like surely she did good by letting them play the game on, because otherwise they'd be waiting for a while. Because it didn't look like they had many
Is it-
stewards going.
It
Is
didn't
it
look like
interacting
anyone was
with
going to
fans?
stop him.
Yeah,
interacting
like,
with fans?
yeah, but surely if the fan comes on to interact with you, then it's okay to take him down. I understand, if you drop kick a fan in the stands, sure, maybe a card. But if the fan
But once they're on the
interferes with the
pitch,
game,
if they're on the pitch, it's a free
Well,
hit.
it's fair game. Yeah, I don't understand the yellow card there.
Sam Kerr, I think, also had a goal disallowed in that game, so it was a pretty
Oh my
eventful game
God.
for her.
Yeah, that's not good.
Mike, what else have you got for us?
I have no more news unless we want to talk about the
No, I
big
think
things,
I'm out.
but I thought we'd
All
wait.
right,
Well,
Keith,
Yeah,
what else have
we'll
you got
wait
for
the
us?
I just said I'm out, but yeah, let's
All
just
right.
keep it rolling. Quick
Uh,
news today.
Yeah, fair. All right, let's move on to. Let's start with the Formula One.
So
May as well.
before Oisin goes on his rant, because he, to be fair to him, is the one that actually has been putting a lot of effort
Yeah.
into F1 this season. I am a complete. I said it to Oisin yesterday. I'm just a complete neutral that just watched it and had no idea the rules. So what I'm saying,
Not
Yeah.
technically a neutral, to be fair.
yeah, no, not a neutral. Well, neutral
I
to
hit
the
Hamilton,
sport.
but
Yeah,
He-
he said
Yes.
he said yesterday, I was the neutral. I wanted Verstappen to win, but I was a neutral watching. I was like, that's not how that works.
That's
Well,
exactly
that's
the opposite of what that
Well,
means.
if say if a
Like,
guy that doesn't watch football at all but comes in and watches a game and watches one, would you call him he's a fan of that team or a neutral of the sport?
if he's supporting
No, if he's
one,
supporting that team,
you're,
he's
you're
not a neutral.
getting the term right.
Fair
Yeah.
enough.
If you're
Anyway.
like if you're new to the sport and being neutral are different
Yeah.
things.
You're a noob, yeah,
Anyway.
noob to the sport. You remind me
I
of
was-
Michael Scott in his Webster's Dictionary. He describes a wetting as the forming of two metals.
But
Go
I
on
know
anyway.
Oisin was quite annoyed at the ending of that race.
Unhappy.
Yeah. Us did seem to be unhappy with the ending of that race. Right.
Yeah, it was interesting.
Do you want to walk us through your controversies, Oisin? And give me a
I
bit of a rant
thought,
there.
for like, I have to say, coming to the end of the race, I was there thinking, all right, so the main thing we were going to talk about when we were going back over this is the turn 6 incident
That's
where
exactly what
Verstappen
I
forced
had.
Hamilton
Yes.
wide.
That's the only thing I had in my notes while watching was, are we going to talk about this whole thing is, why was that not reviewed? Is that the only thing in this race that was it? The one and only. And maybe a side note to Kimi Räikkönen, but that's a different story for a different day.
I felt so bad for Kimi Räikkönen actually having to retire earlier in his final F1
Oh
race.
yeah. Yeah.
Same with Giovinazzi, who it's his final F1 race for now.
Yeah, but for different reasons.
For different reasons,
Yes.
yeah. The Italian Jesus, as he's been affectionately nicknamed by F1 fans.
Italian Jesus.
But anyway, the turn 6 incident with Verstappen. You both watched the race. Well, I know you did,
Yes.
Mike, because we talked.
Yes. but-
What were your thoughts on?
I missed the first half an hour because I thought it
I
started at
thought
half
of it
one.
now.
Oh yeah, that's fair.
I thought it was. I thought there'd be, kind of the incident as you were explaining the week before that they'll just give the position back. That's what I thought watching it. Then obviously they're explaining it. For the life of me, not knowing the rules of what was going on, I was still very confused. And obviously the commentary were also saying they're not quite sure why Hamilton wasn't told to get the position back. But then you explained it to me, so I'll let you explain it.
Well, I
Yeah,
didn't
work away.
explain it fully, and also
Yeah.
some of the I think
You
I think
made
it
more
was
sense than
Nico
what they were
Rosberg
saying.
was
In fairness.
was agreeing with stewards. I personally am fine with him not having to give the position back because essentially when I saw it, I thought Max turned late and forced Lewis off. Was very aggressive with the attempted overtake, and I think he's been very aggressive all year. And it doesn't stand well. It didn't stand well to him in that fight because I think stewards knew he was being very aggressive all year, and he's forced Lewis off track a number of times. Now, I was surprised that they didn't say Lewis had to give the advantage back. And the only thing that I could think of, and obviously I don't have the telemetry or the data or any of that stuff that the stewards have or know what they were thinking, but Martin Brundle on the commentary yesterday made an interesting point that if Red Bull were expecting Lewis to have to give the position back, if he were Verstappen, he'd slow down and let Perez catch up so that when Lewis was given the position to Verstappen, Perez could also try and overtake him and have the two Red Bulls ahead of him. And then when race director Michael Massey was saying that Lewis had given back the advantage, which I didn't think he had because he was still well ahead. I was wondering if Lewis had slowed down in an attempt to give back the advantage, but Verstappen had slowed down to let Perez catch up to him so that they could both overtake. And the stewards went, well, Lewis slowed down to attempt to give the advantage back, and you slowed down not to take it, so it's on you kind of thing. But obviously, we don't have we don't know the steward's intentions, so I don't know if that's the actual case. That was just something that I was wondering while watching it.
Right.
Fair.
Yeah.
Because I came in, I came in at the point where I think Hamilton had just come out of the pit, and was it Sainz for his teammate? I just
Perez.
wouldn't let him pass. Perez just held him up for a good minute and a half, letting
That
him
was
come back into the
incredible
race.
from Perez.
That was fun to watch, yeah.
That was
Bit shithousery, but appreciate it.
incredible.
Well, look out for you
driving.
boys. Yeah.
Yeah. Like if Bottas
But,
had been up there, he would have done the exact same thing for Verstappen.
So we're gonna talk about the true MVP that changed the race forever. We're gonna talk about Mick Schumacher.
Yeah, Mick
what he
Schumacher,
did
yeah.
to affect the race.
What a man. Playing 4D
Check his
chess.
stats. Yeah.
Take out the TV safety car so his dad's record stays intact.
So, tell me, what was going through your mind when all that happened, Oshi? Because for me, I was like, oh my god, is this actually happening? Thinking this is all legal, from my view, because I have no idea what's going on. I was like, yeah, one lap, let them race. Obviously, then,
Let the
at
boys
the end of
go.
it, everyone going, that is so illegal, what's going on?
Illegal.
I thought it was insane. Essentially, if they were to follow the regulations,
Yeah.
they would have had he had two options. That was either to give them a lap of racing but keep the lapped cars where they were, or let the lapped cars unlap themselves, but then the safety car would go in the following lap, which would mean the race ended under safety car conditions.
Yeah. So he just did a little bit of both.
Yeah, like it
Little
was
bit of
very
column A,
strange to
little
see
bit of
that
column B.
he announced that they weren't going to let the lap
Oh,
cars
Go.
unlap themselves.
Yeah.
And you could hear the Verstappen's radio, and he was unhappy about that. And then Christian Horner was getting on to race director Michael Massey and gave out about it. And then he just went, all right, we're going to let these lapped cars between Verstappen and Hamilton unlap themselves, but the rest of them have to
Yeah.
stay where they are.
Yeah.
Which essentially meant, like, Carlos Sainz did fantastically to finish in third. Could have possibly done a bit better if the cars between himself and Max had been allowed to unlap themselves.
Yeah.
And also, letting those cars unlap themselves and then going, all right, safety cars going in two corners seemed insane to me as well.
Why do they normally give them like more heads up on
a
that?
lap.
They usually
lap.
give it the lap so that the cars that are unlapping themselves can reach the back of the pack.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
And,
But yeah,
Well,
it's the fact that they're like, okay, we're just gonna do this for the showmanship, so exactly those 5 cars, whatever it was, could go, just so we can get the last 2 going for the last race, for the last lap was kind of
absolutely
mental.
insane. Michael Massey
Yeah.
himself. Sorry, Mike, to keep cutting across you.
I
I'll
was
let you.
just going to say, for the spectacle of it, that was an incredible
Oh yeah,
3-4 minutes. I was like, oh my god, this is the most entertaining thing I've seen in a while in Formula One.
But like the
Yeah,
fact
like I
that
was saying-
Lewis then had, what, 44
tyres.
lap old tyres,
Yeah.
and Max was on brand new
Yeah.
softs.
like it just pretty much like it was for the sake of showmanship, but all competitive integrity went out the window.
Yeah, essentially handed it to Verstappen.
Yeah, like Hamilton was never winning that.
I also noticed when I was watching it on the race, when the safety car first came out, and obviously they said they're not going to lap, then they talked to the race director, and you can see how flustered he is. He's like, oh, give me 1 second,
Yeah.
and he's
Yeah.
halfway thinking what to say, and he's just struggling to say anything. It says, give me 1 second, and you're like, he doesn't even know what he's going to do. He's trying to do something.
They're apparently talking about getting rid of the teams having a direct contact with the race director next year, which I think is dead right, but I also think they need to get rid of Michael Massey. I think he needs to change. He's just made some insane decisions throughout the entire year.
Does he do all the races, or
Yeah, he's the race director, but the stewards themselves change. So he's the race director for all of them, but the stewards are different
Like-
race to race.
I think that like teams need to have a line of communication with him, like that.
But I think
Sure.
I don't think that. Essentially, I think this is the first year that they've done it, and I don't think they should have as much communication with them as they have I mean,
Yeah,
because
it
you could
definitely
hear
seemed like that they
throughout the
swung
year,
it a little bit.
throughout the
Yeah,
year,
'cause it was
Toto Wolff and Christian Horner have been getting on to him about everything.
That's what it seemed to be like. Even that last lap, you could see they were both saying, "What are you doing? This isn't right." Or,
Yeah.
"Come
Yeah.
on, let us do something." It's like they were just trying to get something out of it for the sake
Yeah,
of asking.
they're trying to influence it for themselves.
Yeah.
Yeah, oh yeah, massively.
But Michael Massey in 20 after a Grand Prix in 2020 regarding a prolonged safety car on track said there is a requirement in the sporting regulations to let all lapped cars through,
Yes.
which he completely ignored yesterday. So it seems
Yeah.
very damning to be able to find
I mean,
that direct quote from him from a year ago.
yeah.
Yeah,
I think
wasn't
it's
it like
just.
you had that to like all or none of them, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah.
Look, I'll give him some benefit of that. Like, I did not want to be him in his situation. He had minutes to come up with a
Yeah.
decision, and he was
Yeah,
thinking
that's
to
very
himself,
true.
"This is probably the biggest race. Like, it's the most probably watched Formula One race, I would say, in a while, 'cause it was everywhere to cover it.
Definitely in the
It
last
was-
couple of years, like last decade,
Like-
I'd say.
Everyone was tuning in because it was a very competitive season and all that. And he
Yeah.
probably took to himself, "Oh, why is it coming down to this?"
True. Made life harder on him.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, but he should have been in a position where they like. It's just the fact that he.
Part of the issue
Like
is
his
the,
position is to make the decisions.
Yeah.
And he should have been
Yeah.
prepared for it, but
he's
yeah.
supposed to make those decisions based on safety reasons and not entertainment reasons. So
yeah, fair.
part of the issue
fair.
is also just the inconsistency throughout the entire season of applying the rules and applying penalties and stuff. Like there have been some insane decisions throughout the whole season.
Fair. Fair. So, Oshin,
Yeah.
so now after the season that they had, the amazing season that they had, are you now going to stop following them because it's never going to get as good as this again?
Yeah, that's it.
Like,
You
just-
peaked.
Just one and done. Yeah, you peaked. Just
One and
realize
done,
you
yeah.
peaked. Just leave them go.
Leave it there.
Just leave it there.
Tell you what, Netflix have a lot to work with now with this year's Drive to
Yeah.
Survive. Fucking hell.
Oh my god, that last race is probably going to be 4 episodes.
At least. There are two are just on the last lap.
No, they're going to do the last duel kind of thing. Their story, his story.
The
truth.
story is told by Toto Wolff.
The truth.
I'm so down for that. Apparently, Mercedes were planning to appeal the decision and bring it to court, and Hamilton said no, he didn't want them
Yeah.
to.
They're
He
going to get it
vetoed
in the cab? No,
so-
it's not the cab. It's the
CAS.
CAS.
Yeah.
Actually, I don't
Yeah.
know how that would have worked because apparently the FIA don't
'Cause it's not a sport.
recognize the CAS.
I do not recognize your authority.
Yeah, there's like a couple of sports that just don't recognize the CAS, and Formula One is one of them.
That's, yeah.
But yeah, it's going to be interesting now next year. Especially with new regulations, a number of teams seem more confident going into next year. It'll be interesting to see if Hamilton and Verstappen are the top two again, or if one of them drops off after what must have been both a physically and mentally
Enduring,
draining
yeah.
season.
Yeah, like what was it you just said? It's 95 days till
95
excellent
days till
qualifying
free practice
practice.
one, yeah. But then you've also got there's preseason testing to go on before then. Like
Yeah,
they don't
like,
have that much of a break.
95 days. No, is like that's not that much time for something that they've just gone through.
Yeah.
How long? When's the season start? Like March,
Um,
April?
95 days is 3 months, so yeah, must be March.
That's a long old season then for them. 9 months, and they get like a month off in the summer or something?
They get a
There's
month
no
off in
summer
the
break.
summer, yeah. The Bahrain Grand Prix is the 20th of March.
Jeez, yeah, that's not much time at all.
So like their summer testing must be January, February.
Summer testing.
Or their preseason testing, sorry. Must be January, February.
They
so
do it down
they
under.
just don't get they really
No.
don't get much time. And then I'd say it must be exhausting as well to travel. There's so much travel in it.
Oh yeah.
You
Yeah.
say Hamilton comes back, or do you think
He's
He'll-
definitely coming back. He's signed a
He
new
said he's
contract
coming
this
back.
year.
did he?
Yeah, until 3 years, I think. 2025, I think, maybe.
How old is he now? 30 something, 31, 32?
Give me 2 seconds. I'll double check. 36.
Jesus, I don't think he's that old. Yeah,
Yeah,
he
1985.
still has a few years left in him.
Oh, fuck's sake. Of course, I went to look up his contract, and I was like, oh, for speed, I'll just look up Lewis Hamilton. But of course, it's all the articles about yesterday.
Yeah, that makes sense.
2
You
more
see,
years, 2023, he signed a new contract until.
Did you see that despite his best efforts and 6 other drivers not being able to finish the race, Haas finished on no points this year, and Mick Schumacher finished 14th yesterday.
Yeah.
So, did what he could.
He did his job. He was only out in that race for one job and one job only. And he made sure of it.
Nikita Mazepin finished the season 21st in a 20-driver competition.
Actually, just another thing. Actually, I noticed in the race, and it wasn't explained to me, but I just
Yes,
it was
man.
around the final 3 laps. Why did Red Bull pull the second car?
Apparently,
yeah,
there
it's not
was it was leaking oil.
Okay.
Apparently,
thinking
there was some issue with it. They had to retire the car.
Alright, I was thinking,
that
they're just
makes
pulling
sense.
it just in case this gets lapped, we need to get him out. I was like, is this pure tactics? We're just pulling him off the field to try and free up some space.
There was actually theories that it was possibly tactics based. One of the other theories is that because there was so few laps left, like even if the car was leaking oil, maybe it could have made it. But they decided to retire the car so that there was no risk of it possibly
Doing a safety car.
possibly increasing the time of the safety car so that they'd get at least one lap
Oh,
in.
yeah.
That's fair.
Fair, yeah.
And then it was interesting with the virtual car flag and the safety car gave Verstappen the advantage twice, where he was able to pit twice for nothing,
Yeah.
and Hamilton had to stay out because they couldn't risk it.
Yeah.
I thought
'Cause-
that was weird, 'cause I thought surely they could risk it. Now just put it in the flip position then.
It's just a case of if Hamilton pits, Verstappen probably stays out, and does
Yeah,
Verstappen
but then
take
you
the
have the
lead, and then
tyres.
does Verstappen have the lead?
Yeah,
Yeah, I suppose.
the issue was part of the issue actually was that, as we were talking about earlier, Sergio Perez holding up Hamilton. If he hadn't been able to hold him up for so long, Hamilton would have had the time to pit and then come out still in front.
Oh, fair, yeah.
But because he was held up so long, like I think they're thinking, especially for the last safety car, was that if they pit, Verstappen stays out, and there's still a possibility that the race ends under safety car conditions.
Yeah.
So they've essentially given up the lead for no reason.
I suppose, yeah.
Like it was
I
a
mean,
complete
it was
gamble,
an
but it
eventful
was a
last
gamble
day.
they had to take.
Yeah,
It was an enjoyable race to watch for the last
yeah.
20 years. It
I'm
was
not saying
good
I'm
to
going to
watch
get
another.
into it next year, but
It has improved my chances of watching another one.
yeah, I
next
might
year.
watch one. Maybe no. Sorry. Next year I might watch 2. I might watch like the first one and the last one. Then we'll slowly get
There's
back
a
into it.
possibility, Keith, we might be watching one live.
You might watch
I'm not
three.
going to Singapore.
Go
I'm
on,
not
kid.
going to Singapore.
Why
You can go
not?
visit your granny by yourself, and maybe
I
she.
was going
But-
to watch the Grand Prix.
I actually
The
might
good, the
end up
bad.
going to Hungary as well.
The good,
Really?
the bad,
Yeah,
and
thinking
the
about it.
bike
How many are
are
you
going
going to
abroad.
next year?
I'm going to Spa in Belgium in August next year. I'm thinking about going to Hungary in
The
July.
Hungaro ring.
The Hungaro ring.
I mean, sure, that'd be funny. I mean, I'm not doing it, but you know.
You
Ah.
say this, we'll convince you.
I mean, it's actually not. Some of them aren't that expensive.
Is Hungary one of them?
Hungary is one of them. Yeah.
I mean, maybe, but
Tickets
I
for
don't know.
Monaco are from €40. I'm on the F1 tickets website
Yeah,
at the
but-
moment.
then you have to buy accommodation in Monaco, which is going to cost you an arm and a leg.
Yeah, I also don't
Maybe
know where
like
the from
Tesco.
€40 came up. Oh, that's grand.
Yeah.
Okay. It's in the grandstands. You can buy tickets here for 3 days. And it's like from €939. I was like, no, I don't think so.
No, not today.
Also, the 40 quid ones are sold out. Makes so much sense.
I'm not surprised. Was it Spa this year that got washed out?
Yes.
Yeah, one of my mates went to it, and I felt bad for him.
Oh, yeah, I'd be fucking disgusted. He'd be raging though, wouldn't you?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Like, not only did you get rained on all weekend, but you didn't get to see much racing.
And they took an age to actually give up any updates about it, I believe.
Yeah.
Did it? I don't
Apparently
remember it
so.
much.
Apparently, like they kept saying, "Oh, you'll get an update in 5 minutes," and the update every 5 minutes was, "You'll get an update in 5 minutes," because they didn't know if it was going to stop raining or what the story was.
Well, they had 3 days for the Hungary one for 100 quid.
Yeah, it's not that
Didn't think
bad.
it'd be that cheap. It's actually not, to be fair. Or you can get the super gold ones for €485.
Yeah, it's a big difference. All right. I think that's everything for the F1. Is that everything?
Yeah.
Keen? Anything else sad?
I think that's all of it.
I think we've
Who's
covered it.
Oshin,
Yeah.
next season, right, with this new standard?
Yeah.
Who's your dark horse? Who's going to take the championship? It's going to be the one that when all the chips are down and it's pure driver skill because they're all using cheap cars, who's going to win?
Put a ball in a hat and see what happens.
Yeah. That'll see who's laughing then.
I think Lewis and Max will still be up there. Carlos Sainz at Ferrari,
Oh,
I
shit.
think is going to be fantastic. I really hope Danny Ricciardo comes good again. He didn't have a great
He's a
season.
bit of a prick, but, you know.
Didn't have a great season this year.
Who's the other guy at Ferrari? I heard he's supposed to be a wonder
Charles
child.
Leclerc.
Charles Leclerc.
Yeah.
Yeah. He
Wonderkind.
himself and Carlos Sainz were fairly neck and neck, I think, all year. He looks very good, to be fair.
There was only 5 points between them in the end.
Yeah.
They were either side of Lando Norris, so it's what we call a Ferrari-McLaren sandwich.
Han McLaren. Han the boys.
I mean, Lando Norris is also a bit of a prick, but it's nice to see him doing well.
How dare you?
He is a slap. He's a face you just want to slap. Like,
Loves a bit
You
of
say that. You say that about a lot
does.
of people now.
I do, and it's true for all of them.
Is it though?
Is it? I think it's just you want to slap people regardless of what they have a face for.
Yeah, that explains a lot.
Hey, don't you shame me. I like to slap people, okay?
I like to slap faces. What of it?
Once again, we don't condone bullying in any sort. Keith's views
Or
are
physical
expressly his
violence.
own. They're expressly his
I'm
own.
not saying I would slap him. I'm just saying
You'd
that
like
face
to.
that would invite it.
Oh
I
yeah,
want
back to the victim blaming. Huh,
That's
Keane?
it.
Surprise, surprise.
It's not my fault. He was asking for it. Once again, we don't
Have
condone
you seen
Keith's
his
views.
face? Oh yeah, no, he just battered in and then got out as quick as he can. Oh god.
You
All
need
right.
help, Keith, and we're here for you.
Let's move on. Keane's flaws
Yes.
aside, let's move on.
Flaws.
So we're also going to talk about
The other shit show.
Yeah, the Champions League, Europa League, and Europa Conference League group stages having concluded, and the knockout round draws having been made today. Some of them twice. There was a bit of excitement today in the Champions League draws. Anyone want to explain what happened?
I would, but I don't really know what happened.
No, Keane, get your
So
shit together.
okay. So
No, why
basically,
would I was like, I could read this,
So-
or I could let one of you explain it
Yes.
to me.
Keith,
Understandable.
Here you go. So, what do you know of the draw? Do you know how it's worked, Keith? Just
But
give
is
us a
it
guideline.
still the same way that they used to do it?
Yeah.
Where like your two pots, group winners and non-group winners?
Yes, runners up.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's
And then just one for
essentially-
each.
No, it's
No?
essentially you have the group winners and you have the
Yeah.
runners up. However, you cannot have a tie where the two teams have been in the same group already.
Yeah.
That
yeah,
game
yeah,
can't be
yeah.
allowed. And two teams from the
Yeah.
same country cannot be tied against each other.
Really, that one's new. I didn't actually know that.
So
It's
basically, what
always
happened?
been there.
I think so. Yeah.
So what happened? Yeah, for a good bit it has. But so what
Hmm.
happens is you get certain when they pull the first team out, they'll eliminate certain potential teams because they don't fit that motive to play.
Yeah.
But whatever mix-up happened, Manchester United were first drawn against Villarreal, and they were in the same group together. What's going on?
Oh, right, yeah,
Then
yeah.
put back, and then later on when they were being selected for Atletico Madrid tie, they're essentially they were not put into the pot. The guy just completely ignored the Manchester United pot and took everyone else's, so they
Oh,
just
yeah,
weren't
yeah, I
had a
get
chance.
you.
And then they
Oh, I
they
have
later
seen one
drew
of these before,
PSG, and they
where
drew
they keep
PSG.
making up the second thing. Yeah, yeah. Sorry, yeah. Continue. I understand.
So
yeah, I remember how it's done now. Yeah. So what happened there? So Atletico, they didn't take a Man United bubble.
yeah, so eventually the draw was they missed the thing. They weren't fairly had a chance to
Yeah,
draw Atletico Madrid,
yeah.
and they were given PSG because they were the last ball taken, and obviously there was
United
a bit of
were.
a complaint. Yeah,
Oh,
And then the draw had to be redone.
now
Um,
it is funny.
uh,
I will say I was saying this when I first saw it. Right, would United have protest a lot if? Because I remember it was the draw. It was the team two fixtures before it, they were eventually drawn against PSG. They had a 50-50 chance of getting Sporting Lisbon.
well, I believe it was Atletico Madrid who lodged a complaint.
It was United as well, because they got PSG.
Atletico got Bayern and
Bayern
lodged a
Munich.
complaint. Yeah.
so essentially, it was at the same draw where they entered United incorrectly into one and then just didn't put them into another one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or is it
Yeah.
the two
That's
different draws?
Same draw.
literally what happened.
Same
Uh,
draw.
The
And then,
irony
I mean, to
then
be fair,
being
you get both of them out now. You know, get all your mistakes in when
Yeah,
you can.
that's
because
fair.
the
you have
irony
to
is
redo
they
it
both
anyway.
get
Yeah.
through. But
the irony being that United weren't put in the draw for Atletico, and then in the second run through of the draw, Atletico
They
now
get
play
it.
United.
yeah.
Yes.
But then afterwards, when it was announced it was being voted, Real Madrid put in a complaint saying that their draw was perfectly legal, so why do they have to be redrawn?
Because theirs occurred before the fuck up.
Yes.
Oh,
So there's the curve before
right.
the fuck up. They were originally given Benfica, but now they
That's
have
interesting.
PSG. Now they have PSG, and they're complaining.
Yeah.
So the question is, should they have gone from where the fuck up was, or just do the whole thing all over
Yeah.
again? And I think they
Well, I
were
assume,
right.
I'd
to
say
do the
they
whole
are
thing.
right, but I assume that somewhere in some Champions League bylaw it says that if there's a fuck up in the draw,
Yeah.
that they redo the whole thing. So
They said the draw was null and void, so they
Yeah.
voided
Yeah.
the draw, so that just means they have to
yeah.
redo it. Now, obviously, the stupid, and maybe you guys, I don't understand why there's the rule for cannot play the same country in the second step.
I understand it for like a bit in the sense of that, you know, you're playing in Europe, you want to play against somebody you don't already play twice a year. I don't think it should be in place, but I'm saying I understand.
I mean,
it.
I understand it
from
and have
that.
no issues with it in the group stages and the
Yeah,
round of
the group
16, which it
stages.
only is. It's gotten rid of after this point.
I know, but
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
round of 16, I think I'd be in the opinion it should be scrapped period because look, I understand group stages, I agree, but if it's the round of 16, it's the best 16 teams left, right? Regardless, it shouldn't have to matter where they're from.
Yeah, I would agree. Like, I can understand why they do it, but I don't think they should. I think it's trying to get too cute with it. That you
Yeah.
did have a chance of facing any of the other 8 in the other pot, essentially. Well,
Because you have-
7, I suppose.
Because basically all it does is it nullifies your certain draw thing. So for instance, Chelsea were the 4th fixture, the 4th team picked out. They had only 2 teams to pick from out of a possible 6.
Yeah.
Because two were from England and 1 they were in their group.
England.
So they had a 50-50 of Real Madrid or Lille.
Well, when
Yeah, it really
Villarreal were
does kinda
drawn, there
limit
was only
yourself.
one team that they could have drawn, despite there being
Yeah.
another 4 teams in the pot.
Please tell me they
Yeah.
put them into the pot and throw it around anyway.
They do.
Let's pick
That's
it
what
off
they
the
do.
Yeah.
It's still the one team. I go, this is it.
They could only draw Juventus.
Juventus, yeah, that's really funny.
Yeah, so essentially the last 3 teams were already picked. It was, well, was the 50-50 with the... No, it was last 3 teams were all picked because of the way the pot went. It was Villarreal had to draw Juventus, Liverpool had to draw Inter, and PSG had to draw Real Madrid.
Yeah, like it affects England and Spain? Decently bad.
I mean, there's possibilities for it to affect Italy as well, but AC Milan didn't get through.
No, like it technically affected Portugal.
It did, yeah. So we're still on for a Benfica Sporting Lisbon final. The largest Portuguese
The
derby.
Portuguese Classico. Did you not play Inter in your group? Who's in your group?
AC.
Oh, okay.
Well, we'll go over our group predictions later.
No, I don't think we need to do that.
We could do it now if you want.
Oh my god.
All right.
First day, Mike's live.
So out of 32 teams, Mike got the positions right for 17 of them. Granted, I mean, Mike was the only one to say that Zenit would come third in their group and Malmo fourth. And Mike was the only one to say
non-believers.
Wolfsburg would finish fourth in their group.
I will put a side note and an asterisk beside it where I will give Oshin some credit and say to him, I have no doubt he was going to have some of the teams I picked as well, but for entertainment purposes, we made it a tiny bit different. Keen, you were wildcard, you were just picking for the sake of picking.
That's why. Otherwise, I could have done what you did. But
well,
I went, what?
To be
Didn't
fair,
I say Lille would win their group? I'm pretty sure I said France were good.
Keane, you did say Lille would win their group. So did I, to be fair.
Oh, fuck, I thought it was someone who did that.
We each got one group fully correct, like separately. Keane got Group E, Bayern, Benfica, Barcelona, Dynamo Kiev. Fucking nailed it. Keane is also the only one to say that Sheriff would finish third and Shakhtar Donetsk fourth. It's pretty impressive. Mike got Group F fully correct. United, Villarreal, Atalanta, Young Boys. Keane and I both had Villarreal and Atalanta swapped around.
Yeah.
And I got Group A correct. City, PSG, Leipzig, Bruges. You both said that PSG would top that group.
Oh, yeah.
In fact,
that sounds like something I would do.
You both said PSG would win the whole thing. Do you still stand by that now? Looking at this knockout round draw.
Oh, yeah, let me go back to that.
PSG to play Real.
Do they
redraw
yes. for the next round or does it feed into it?
It's redrawn.
It's redrawn.
Oh.
I think it's redrawn and from that point it feeds into...
Yeah. Real Madrid the powerhouses they were a few years ago.
Sergio Ramos to get the winner.
You don't get anything for topping your group, you know?
That's it. Also, Messi's played against Real Madrid in the Bernabeu every year.
Yeah, I'm double downing. I'm sticking with PSG.
Doubling down on
Who'd
PSG.
You say?
Solid. I said Bayern, who drew
that's a good shout.
Salzburg in there. So
RB Salzburg.
I'm feeling pretty confident.
I cannot wait for them to lose to
RB
Salzburg.
Shall we recap the Champions League and moments and shocks?
Yeah.
Obviously, we'll start with the. I think we give Sheriff fair play. They were a shock at it at the light. A few game weeks.
They topped the group for a little bit.
They were doing really well until I put money on them to win the whole thing.
Please don't do it in the Europa League.
This is all Oshie's fault.
Yeah.
Liverpool became the first English team to win all 6.
Yeah, we made the
group games.
Ajax
did it as well.
Look easy.
Ajax won all 6 of their group games.
Dortmund were disappointing.
Yes, and we all had Dortmund topping that group.
Yeah, that was a.
It was a
I
shock.
don't know what happened to the Dortmund during the Champions League. It was a bit of a.
See, what happened to them was they only drew 3 games. So then that allowed Sporting to climb on top of them.
Yes.
Checks out.
Matt checks out. Keen is our mathematician.
Did we all say United would top their group? I'm pretty sure you talked a lot of shit and said they wouldn't.
No, we all said United would top the group.
We hoped they would, but they did.
Yeah.
Because it was a perceived easy group for them at the time.
We all said Young Boys would finish 4th. We got that right as well.
Yeah, poor young boys.
But they got lucky in their group. There was a few last-minute winners in a lot of their games.
Hey, they all count. Doesn't matter when you get them.
It's a fair point.
I
Goal's
forgot.
a goal.
I forgot Keith's still a United fan till January when he switches to Newcastle.
I don't know.
At the
we'll
transfer
play,
window.
That's if they survive. That's
Yeah, you're waiting for the
Not my
summer.
chicken just yet.
The deal hasn't gone through yet.
Yeah, he's
No.
waiting for summer to confirm his allegiance.
I actually did just find out how rich the Newcastle lads are, and it's shocking.
It's insane, yeah.
Yeah, disgusting wealth.
Keane, you
Yeah.
you said France are good. Do you think Lille will beat Chelsea in the round of 16?
Yeah, fuck it. Why not?
Solid.
So,
Alright, make
so
a
you're
note
going
of that.
for you're going for Lille to win the Joe Cole Derby. Interesting.
Is Joe Cole still playing? Surely he's retired.
He's retired, but he has played for both clubs,
Oh,
so it's
okay,
the Joe Cole Derby.
Okay. Are we gonna go through all of them and pick our winners?
Yeah, fuck it, go on.
Alright.
Alright.
So, Bayern or Salzburg? I'm going
Hang on. Alright, I'm gonna do this now, so you have to go back and listen to it.
I'm
and
actually
take
doing it
notes.
at the moment.
Oh, are you taking notes? Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
So,
Bayern Salzburg. Go.
Bayern.
Keane?
Yeah. I'll go Bayern. I'll take the easy one. It's easy points.
That's fair. And I have Bayern to win
Easy
the whole
peasy.
thing, so they kind of have to win that one.
Yeah. Now hedge your bets. So if you say they don't win it here, you're happy either way.
Sporting Lisbon City.
City.
Keane?
Yeah, I'll go City. I'll take the easy ones.
Take the easy ones.
Yeah.
Next up is Benfica Ajax.
Ajax.
Ooh.
I'm going Benfica. We'll go Portugal.
Ooh, I'm also going to go Benfica.
Interesting.
Keane
Yes.
sounded unhappy.
Yeah, he thought he was going the rogue one.
Yeah.
But I've got
I was
rogue.
going against the grain.
Keane said Lille. Mike? Lille or Chelsea?
Oh, you can't say that, yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to go Chelsea as well. Keane's the rogue one there.
Haha, I'm the Star Wars.
Here's the interesting one.
Atletico United.
I'm gonna go Atletico.
I'm going Atletico as well. Keane?
Yeah, I'll go United.
Ooh.
Unbelievable. Big Ralph at
This
the
is
wheel.
Manchester United now. It's not Newcastle United.
Yeah, I know. I'd be
Okay,
surprised.
just
I'd
making
be
sure.
very interested if it was Newcastle.
It'd be pretty impressive if they...
It would be. Haven't
Phil-
won a game in the Premier League this year. Or maybe they have now, but
Villarreal,
Definitely is.
Juventus. Keane, let's go to you
Juventus.
first. Alright then, let's not
Oh,
go to Keane
fuck.
first.
I won't speak for the next two. Yeah,
Well, you have to
Uh,
speak at some point, Mike.
yeah. I'll go last.
Okay.
Mike, are you eating snacks at the minute?
Maybe.
Fuck's sake. So unprofessional.
I'll go Valencia. Like Juventus are like less good. now, aren't they?
Valencia.
You beat Villarreal, right?
Villarreal. Yeah.
Told you.
Yeah.
Who's up
I-
for
I
fucking
just
team
said
now.
I was staring at the V, and Valencia was the first one that came to head.
Inter Liverpool?
Ocean, who'd you go for in that one? Just out of curiosity.
Oh, I went with Juventus.
Oh, fair.
I'm going Liverpool in the Liverpool.
Surprise.
Surprise. Keane.
I'll take Inter. Just to annoy the both of yous.
Mike.
Liverpool.
I thought as much.
Surprise. Yeah.
And
What game were we
finally,
left?
PSG Real Madrid.
Go hedge my bets. No, I'm still going PSG. Yeah.
Keane goes PSG to it. Mike.
PSG.
Stick with PSG. I'm going to go rogue on this one and go with Real.
Ooh.
It's exciting times. Let's move right along.
That's the first time that me and Mike agreed and Ushin didn't.
Yeah, that's the first time I've got rogue. It's pretty impressive.
Big one.
Keane's got rogue on 4 of the 8 games.
I really hope I win that one.
All right, let's
I mean,
move
okay,
along.
whoever wins between the two, does it just come to... No, you are different on 2 ties.
We are different on...
PSG and...
Yeah, literally just 2 ties.
The Benfica and Ajax.
Benfica Ajax.
So I don't want to pay attention to any of the other group games unless it's Real Madrid and Ajax.
Pretty
The only
much.
two.
I mean, I assume you pay attention to the Liverpool ones.
You would think,
Yeah.
but who knows?
Yeah, that's very fair. on a Wednesday evening on Among Us. I've had him use that football defense too many times. Won't be taking it anymore.
Hey, when it works, it works. Anyway,
Does it work?
Let's move on to the Europa League games. And first off, I'll have to say I'm pretty impressed with myself, to be honest. Like, out of the however many groups there is, what is there? 8 groups?
A lot. Oh, there's like more in this, isn't there?
No, it's 8 groups. I got like 50% on who was gonna finish third in their group. Pretty happy with that.
Oh wait, in the Champions League. Yeah.
yeah. I was like, how did you get third? Did
How'd
we
you
do
get
the
third?
Europa
Yeah,
League?
did you third in Europa League?
No, I did. I listed in the episode who I thought was gonna drop down to get into the Conference League.
Fair.
So the first off, the main points that each of us made. Mike said, Leon were going to make a strong run in the Europa League,
Hey, they're doing well, aren't they?
Yeah.
but
Right.
chose Atalanta to drop down and win the Europa League.
Pew, 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 pew.
Atalanta have finished third in their group.
We're on it, boys.
I said Leipzig and Milan to drop, and both have good runs. Leipzig have dropped, Milan haven't.
Ooh.
I also said Villarreal could drop and win it all again. They didn't drop. But I chose Leipzig to win the whole thing. So the one team I got right on dropping down.
Do you stand by it now?
Hold on, let me have
Looking
a...
at the results. I don't think my
Villarreal-
prediction will go.
You don't think Atalanta will do it? Or who
No.
did you have? Yeah, Atalanta.
I had Atlanta to win it and Leon to do well. I still think Leon will do well, but I don't think either of them will win it.
Do you think Atalanta will beat Olympiacos in the playoff draw?
They should. They really should.
I'm still feeling confident about Leipzig, to be honest. So I think I'm going to stick with it. So Mike,
think
if you have to
Dort-
change,
yeah,
teams,
Dortmund are too strong, right? Can't really go against Dortmund. We all thought they'd go in. We all thought they'd top their group in the Champions League.
Yeah, so maybe they're not as strong as we think.
he's got a point.
Maybe they're trash.
I'm going to stick with Leipzig to win the whole thing. I think they'll beat Real Sociedad in the playoff draw.
I think I said Barcelona, didn't
I left you till last intentionally.
I?
You said
Keane said Sheriff Tiraspol to finish third and dominate the Europa League. Sheriff have finished third and have drawn Braga in the Europa League. I mean,
Keane has said Portugal are good this year. That's what Keane has also
is
said.
Keane also chose Barcelona to finish third and win the entire Europa League, and Barcelona did finish third, but
I
have
can
drawn
think
Napoli. So the question is, do you stick
Mention
with
Bar-
Barcelona to win the whole
I'm
thing?
sticking with Barcelona to
So you're abandoning
beat
Sheriff.
Sheriff. No, they're going to beat Sheriff in the final. That's my prediction.
I'm making note of that right now.
So wait, hold on, Keith. Is that it, or are you gonna stick true to your original prediction and it's gonna go to a Sheriff Barca final where it finishes and goes to penalties, so therefore Sheriff don't lose the game and still technically dominate Europa?
Still technically dominant. The whole
They
thing.
could lose it. They could lose a game and still dominate. I think Porto
Yeah.
Lazio is a really interesting draw in the Europa League playoffs. Both very
I mean-
good teams.
So is this? Oh, so this is
My
an
boy
annual
Ciro
top the group
Immobile.
in the-
No,
okay, I get you. I get it works.
So
now. I
yeah.
spent the last 5 minutes going, wait, who did Leon play? I know they're definitely here somewhere because
Yeah.
Mike has talked about them, but I remember how it works now.
no, but Barcelona weren't given any favors in this draw.
no, not at all. I
Why are
also
Napoli good?
Napoli are very good,
Oh.
but my boy
Oops.
Ciro Immobile is going to put Porto to bed.
Portugal are good.
I also said that I really liked Real Betis for the Europa League for absolutely no reason whatsoever. And I mean, they qualified from their group. They're playing Zenit in the playoff draw.
Ooh.
So, we'll see.
Ooh.
Keeping my eye on you, Real Betis.
Get a shout out for all you Betis fans out there.
All right, I'm gonna see how much it'll take to get a Real Betis shirt shipped to Ireland.
Oh, you'll love to see it. Oh yeah, 2 years ago, Barca played Napoli in the round of 16 in the Champions League. How the mighty have fallen.
Yeah, yeah. It's a shame for that. I mean, oh fuck! I tried to make a joke. Who are they playing?
Barcelona
Who are
played
Barcelona?
Napoli.
Yes. I was gonna say.
I mean,
times are hard now, and Napoli having to face Barcelona.
if we're talking about how times have changed, a year ago, Messi and Sergio Ramos were at the Bernabeu playing against each other. Now they're coming back as friends.
That's very true. And if we're
Yeah,
talking
see,
about
PSG
how
have that
times
inside
have
line.
changed, 2 years ago, Spurs were in the Champions League final. It was 2 years ago?
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
It's 3 years
3
now,
years
isn't
ago.
it?
3
Was
years
it 3
ago.
years ago?
We've
Yeah.
had Bayern and Chelsea have won it since.
Yeah, 3 years ago, man. Lockdown doesn't count. That whole year doesn't count.
Yeah, that the whole
Anyway,
year
that was
just
supposed to be a really smooth transition into the Conference League, but I fucked up my time.
It's
So-
okay.
We
can
edited
accept
and
you.
post it.
So let's move on to the Conference League, where we didn't actually do any major predictions.
Yeah, that's
We all said either Roma or
Roma.
Spurs were going to win it, and then when we were all forced to pick a team, we all said Roma.
Roma.
Yeah. The issue is with the Conference League is we still don't know what the story is with Spurs and Vitesse, which one of those go through. And go on to
I was
play
wondering
rather than
what
the
that was, yeah.
Because
I
for
was just
those
looking
who
at that and I
don't
was
know,
like, how is it to be determined? Yeah, okay, yeah. Fire away.
Spurs had a COVID outbreak last week, and so were unable to play their final group game against Stade Rennes. And the issue with that being that Spurs, I think, will have to. They've had to cancel. They're possibly going to have to cancel this week's Premier League game as well, and they won't have time to fit in the Europa or the Conference League game before Rennes go on their winter break on the 22nd of December. And the regulations are that all group games must be done before the 31st of December. So it's unclear how UEFA is going to decide on the result of that. And it doesn't matter to Rennes because they're
They've won the
guaranteed
group.
top of the group no matter what. But it does matter to Vitesse, who won their last game 3-1, which was not enough to guarantee them second place no matter what. But it does mean that if Spurs are forced to forfeit the game, Vitesse go through. But if Spurs are given the win, Vitesse are third and knocked out.
Yeah, but how can they give Spurs the win?
So
If they
essentially,
play it
if they
as Red go to winter break, is it?
well, yeah, if they try to reschedule it, and Rennes were apparently very stubborn and essentially said no, we should be given the win, because they were only told after they landed in London that the game was being called off.
That's amazing.
So they don't want to reschedule the game. So if UEFA decide, well, we tried to reschedule it, but you refuse to play, so we're forcing you to take a loss, which they don't care about because they've won their
They won
group.
anyway, yeah.
And they're currently in second, I believe, in Ligue 1, which is where their focus is now. They won't want to fly to London to play a meaningless game,
Yeah,
midweek game,
true, actually.
to take time away from preparing for domestic games. So it puts
Yeah,
them in a very
okay.
strange spot. Now, I think the fairest thing to do is to force Spurs to forfeit. But it's just a very weird position to be in. And I'm actually
Yeah,
I'm not 100% how they organised the draw then, if they just decided that neither Leicester or PSV were able to meet Spurs or Vitesse, because you can't play teams from your own country.
yeah.
It's a very strange situation.
Yeah, they may have had to apply like both or something
Yeah.
weird.
So,
So I'm. I was reading some of the stuff about it. I think that you put into our Discord. They didn't actually have enough players out with COVID to warrant postponing it, wasn't it, or something like that?
well, they didn't say, I believe
They didn't
they
say
didn't
how
say
many.
exactly how many they had out. the assumption is that because UEFA called off the game, they mustn't have been able to meet the requirements. The requirements is that they have to have at least 13 outfield players that are registered on list A or whatever it is.
Right.
So the assumption is that obviously they weren't able to meet that amount if UEFA called it off themselves. But
Okay.
originally, I believe a Spurs spokeswoman in a meeting with Ren, UEFA, and Spurs just went, "Yeah, we're not playing the game," unilaterally originally, and Ren were like, "No, that's not how this works." Which is, I think, why they're being stubborn now and trying to reschedule it. Part of the
Right,
reason,
yeah.
anyway.
Yeah.
It's all a bit of a shit
Yeah,
show.
you can see why Ren don't want to play it. I mean, I'd be surprised that, like, if they do play it, if UEFA forced them to play it, that they'd just stick out a bunch of young lads in the B team and just essentially hand Spurs a walkover.
Yeah. Which would suck for Vitesse.
Massively.
Yep.
But,
Has Harry Kane got his shit together, or is he still really bad this year?
Yeah, it's still really
still
bad.
pretty poor, yeah.
Ah, that's irritating.
The big question is, though, after we all said Roma to win it, looking at
Do
the
we still
teams
take
who have
Roma?
dropped down, are you still sticking with Roma? There's some good teams dropped down.
Let me have a look here.
Do we all still agree
That-
that Celtic are dog shit at the moment?
Yeah,
That was the
yeah.
consensus call at the last
I mean,
one.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, so the teams that dropped down, Marseille, French
team.
team, Keed, you like the French
The
league.
French are good.
Yeah.
Well, I meant just Lille were good, but yeah.
Well, you said the
PS
French, though.
I did say
Yeah,
the French, didn't I?
PSV Eindhoven.
Good team.
Is Bodo Glimt one team or two?
1-2. It's 1-2.
I was very confused as to why there's a slash in their name.
Good old Butter Glimpst.
Bodo Glimt.
Better Batchy, always difficult.
I mean, Midtjylland, they must be good. They've been in Champions League, haven't they?
They have.
Midtjylland were already in.
They
Were
usually
they a drop down
like-
team?
No, they didn't drop down.
Did they not?
No, I don't think
I
so.
assume they're on the drop down list because all the drop down teams play their first game away.
Oh, yeah, no, they did. They did.
Yeah.
That's
Then
my,
because you have
On the
Leicester.
ball.
my mistake.
Yep. Leicester. I mean,
Very good
they
team.
could do well
They could
if
do
they
very well.
get their shit together and actually try.
Actually start Jamie Vardy and stop harming my fantasy football team.
Why are they not starting Jamie Vardy?
He's
he
old
keeps
and
having
just
parties.
He can't play he can't play a match every 3 days because he's old.
He keeps having the parties and breaking lockdown, Keith.
Yeah.
They've warned him. Sparta Prague and Rapid Vienna.
I mean, yeah.
I think Leicester
I
could
still
do very
think-
well.
I
But
still
I-
think
Oh,
Roma,
Copenhagen.
right?
Copenhagen are good.
It's fair. I mean, Copenhagen definitely. Yeah, Copenhagen topped their group. They definitely were one of the
That's
group
what I was looking
toppers.
They topped the group.
Yeah, I think. I mean, Rennes are a better team than I thought they were at the start of the year. But I think Roma are still going to do it.
Oh yeah, but that's only if you have heartburn.
Fuck you.
Oh, God damn it. Oh, well, we're on the matter. Did any of you watch? I know you didn't watch the draw, King. Oisin, did you watch the draw at any stage
No.
live? Oh, so I was watching it, and my God, were they taking shots at the Super League throughout, and I
Oh, really?
couldn't stop laughing. So they're like saying the guy in charge of it was like, and of course now we're on to the Champions League, which is the best club competition in the world. I was like, okay. And then during the Europa League draw, they go, and Sheriff Travismore proving why open competition is always a very good thing and must be. I was like, all right, they're definitely taking shots here.
Yeah, that's very fair.
And I'm like, they are still salty of the Super League.
Understandable, in my opinion.
Do we think next year they'll rebrand the Champions League to the Super Champions League?
The Super Champions League. I love it. I hope so.
It's a real.
But you have Champions League at home.
So we're all still keen. You've named a couple of teams actually. Who are you going with to win the Conference League? Because I said
Copenhagen.
Roma's still going to do it. You're going with Copenhagen?
Stick with Copenhagen, yeah.
All right. I just need to make a note of it so that I don't have to listen
Blocking
to
it
this.
in.
Listen to
I'm
this
locking it
entire
in.
podcast just to find
Yeah.
that one line. All right,
Don't have to worry about this now for 5 months.
All right,
Mike, you're sticking with Roma, right?
I'm still taking Roma. Who gets Golden Boot in this year's Champions League?
Oh, for fuck's
Fuck's
sake.
sake, Mike.
I'm just gonna put that out there.
This really
think-
gives me the fucking. Oh, what do you think about Quidditch?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
one of the first episodes. Like, fuck off.
I think Hilaire's gonna do it.
I mean, yeah, he's currently winning.
Who
He does
is?
play for Ajax, though.
Hilaire.
Sebastian Haller.
Who was shit for West Ham for a while.
Hey, one team's trash is another man's treasure.
I also actually really like Sebastian Haller because I had him in, I think it was either a FIFA team or a Football Manager team in a career, and he was fantastic. A few
Did you
years
get
ago.
your Immobile back on your team this year?
I didn't get FIFA this year, and I don't think he'll come to Albacete in my in my Football Manager save. But you never know.
Not
That's very
with
fair.
that attitude.
Just dropped my mouse.
Solid.
I'll go. They won't pick Lewandowski, but I think that's it too easy. Yeah,
I think
no one's
I've
picked him.
taken the hard road. I'll go Lewandowski.
Yeah, I'm also gonna pick Lewandowski because I think Bayern are gonna go the whole way and win it, so he'll have the most games.
See, that's I
Well,
was gonna
Salah and
PSG,
Liverpool,
but
maybe.
then Messi's on like 5. No, they're not gonna win it.
The heart says yes for Rashid, but the body says the mind says no.
But the common sense says no.
And Mike's going with Hilaire.
Yeah,
All right, let's leave it there.
leave it there.
Yes.
I
So,
should have made
Quidditch.
note of that. Fuck off.
So, just to confirm, we're on next week. Once again,
Yes.
only
yes,
find
yes,
this
yes, yes,
out.
yes. Next week we'll have a show next week,
Yes.
and then we're taking a week off. And then
Like,
we'll
yeah,
be
the
back.
day that's like the 27th or whatever, that Christmas week. And then we're back in the new year.
Yes.
Alright.
So we'll
As
have
long
a
as
show.
Mike's okay with that.
Yeah,
we'll,
that's fine.
we'll record a show on the 20th, and it'll be out at some point that week, depending on when I remember to upload it. I've been very good the past few weeks, though. I think I've been getting it on Tuesdays pretty much.
Yeah, pretty much. I keep trying to text you, and then I think I've done it once.
Yeah, you did it
Yeah.
once, and I keep.
In fact, Keen tells me, he goes, "Ah, fuck, I forgot to text Usheen."
Yeah, see, if you forget to text me, how am I supposed to remember to upload it?
It's a group effort.
All right, we'll leave it there. So, yeah, fuck the system, feed the algorithm, and as always, death comes for us all.
I can't wait to get merged with Death Comes for Us All.
Oh yes, please. Can we actually? That's the dream right there.
Just
Good, the bad,
on
the Mike
the
merch
front,
coming soon.
yeah, on the front as always, and then on the back, Death
Death
Comes
comes
for Us
for
All.
Have a good one, guys.